Alright guys, welcome back. This is day number 15 of the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2025, and today we're going to be focusing on web attack forensics, drone alone. So let's get into the room and see what it's about. Alright, so it looks like we're going to explore some web attack forensics using Splunk. It is going to take 30 minutes to complete this, and it's only a medium difficulty room. So let's see what the story is for day number 15. So TBFC's drone scheduler web UI is getting strange long HTTP requests containing base 64 chunks. Now Splunk raises an alert saying that Apache spawned an unusual process. On some endpoints, these requests cause the web server to execute shellcode, which is obfuscated and hidden within the base 64 payloads. For this room, it is our job as the blue teamer to triage the incident, identify compromised hosts, extract and decode the payloads, and determine the scope. We're going to use Splunk to pivot between the web Apache logs and the host level sysmon telemetry. So we're going to follow the investigation steps in this room, and each corresponds to a Splunk query and investigation goal. So what are our learning objectives for today? Well, we're going to detect and analyze malicious web activity through Apache access and error logs. We're going to investigate OS level attacker actions using sysmon data. We're going to identify and decode suspicious or obfuscated attack payloads. And we're going to reconstruct the full attack chain using Splunk for blue team investigation. All right, so now let's talk about what we're going to be using. So we're going to be using both an attack machine and a target machine. And we can open up our attack box in split view mode. If we don't see it, we can click the show split view button at the top of the page. It's going to take about a few minutes just for our virtual machines to start. So let's start those up, and I'll be right back once they do start. All right, when both our attack machine and our target machine have started, we're going to answer the question below, stating that we have successfully started both the attack box and the target machine. So let's check that off. All right, now let's go to task 2. So task 2 says logging into Splunk. So it says after we have started the attack box and the target machine in the previous task, we want to allow our system around 3 minutes to fully boot, which we did. Then we're going to use Firefox on the attack box, which we have in split view mode here, to access Splunk dashboard at the IP address for me, 10.64.181.184.8000 is the port using the credentials. So let's do that. Let's go to Firefox. All right, going to open a new tab. We're going to go to 10.64.181.184 Make this web page a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, so right here we can see we're required to sign in with a username and password for Splunk Enterprise, which is right here. So it's going to be blue, which we're going to copy and paste, and pass 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's paste that in as well. All right, once we hit sign in, it should log us into that account. Once it does fully log us in, we'll be taken to the search page as shown in our lab environment, as well as in the screenshot here. Tells us to make sure we adjust the Splunk time range to include the time of the events, being the last 7 days. If the default range is too narrow, we may see no results. So we're going to switch the time range here from last 24 to last 7 days or all time. I'm going to hit all time just so it's a little easier. It says a blue teamer would explore various attack angles via Splunk. In this task, we're going to follow elflog McBlue, who uses his Splunk magic to unravel the attack path. So let's talk about detecting suspicious web commands. So in the first step, we're going to search for HTTP requests that might show malicious activity. The query below searches the web access logs for any HTTP requests that include signs of command execution attempts, such as command.exe, PowerShell, or invoke expression. This query helps identify any possible command injection attacks, which the evil attacker tries to execute system commands through a vulnerability CGI script hello.bat. So we're going to take this whole thing right here, and we're going to copy it, right click copy, and we're going to paste it into the search bar. And we're going to hit search. All right, so we can see 4 results came up. It says, at this step, we're primarily interested in the base-64 encoded strings, which may reveal various types of activities. Once we spot encoded PowerShell commands, we want to decode them using base64decode.org or our favorite base64 decoder to understand what the attacker was trying to do. Based on the results, it'll say that we received. Let's copy the encoded PowerShell string and paste it into the base64decode.org upper field, and then we're going to click on decode as shown in this screenshot. So we can see here the ones that say PowerShell. We're going to click on that, and we're going to press view event, and we're going to copy this entire string right here. Control C for copy. Now let's go to this on our virtual environment, base64decode.org, decode.org. All right, so we're going to paste in this after we confirm this. So paste that in. And then we're going to scroll down and hit decode and see what it gives us as the result. We can see when we decode it, it says, this is now mine, mwahahaha. All right, so now we're going to look for server-side errors or command execution in Apache error logs. So in this stage, we'll focus on inspecting web server error logs, as this would help us uncover any malicious activity. And we're going to use the following query. So we're going to copy this, right-click copy. We're going to go back to our search in our Splunk. We're going to go to search. And we're going to change, again, 24 hours to all time, and Control V to search, and then press the green search icon. So it tells us that this query will inspect the Apache error logs for signs of execution attempts or internal failures caused by malicious requests. As we can tell, we are searching for error messages with particular terms such as cmd.exe and PowerShell. It says, please make sure you select View Raw from the drop-down menu under the events. All right, so we can see we have 3 that loaded after that search result. So we're going to press View List, and we're going to view Raw. It says if a request like cgi-bin/hello.bat $cmd equal PowerShell triggers a 500 internal server error, it often means that the attacker input was processed by the server but failed during execution, a key sign that he was trying to exploit it. Now, checking these results helps us confirm whether the attack reached the backend or remained blocked at the web layer. All right, so now we're going to trace suspicious process creation from Apache. So we're going to explore sysmon for other malicious executable files that the web server might have spawned. We'll do this using the following Splunk query, being index equals windows_system, parent image equals star httpd.exe. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it into our search bar and press search again. This query focuses on process relationships from sysmon logs, specifically when the parent process is Apache httpd.exe. Now again, we can click on the view, and instead of raw, we're going to go to table on the drop-down menu. So we can see it found quite a few different ones. It tells us that typically Apache should only spawn worker threads, not system processes like cmd.exe or PowerShell.exe. It says if results show a child process, such as parent image and the file path for it, as well as image and the file path for that, it indicates a successful injection where Apache executed a system command. The findings here show one of the strongest indicators that the web attack penetrated the operating system. Next, we're going to confirm the attacker enumeration activity. So in this step, we're going to aim to discover what specific programs we found from previous queries do. So we're going to type in the following query, being index equals windows_system star cmd.exe star who am I star. So let's copy that and paste that into the search and press search. Now this query is going to look for command execution logs where CMD ran the command who am I. Attackers often use the who am I command immediately after gaining code execution to determine which user their malicious process is running as. Finding these events confirms the attacker's post-execution reconnaissance, showing that the injected command was executed on the host. So we can see here when they ran who am I, as well as what different user, being web server Apache _SVC, and when they ran them. Next, we're going to identify base64 encoded PowerShell payloads. In this final step, we're going to work to find all successfully encoded commands. To search for encoded strings, we can use the following query in Splunk, being index is equal to windows_sysmon, image is PowerShell.exe, command line equals enc, or command line equals -encoded command, or command line base64. So it's going to search all of this. So let's copy that, paste it into the new search result, and press search. Now this query detects PowerShell commands containing -encode command or base64 text, a common technique attackers use to hide their real commands. If your defenses are correctly configured, this query should return no result, meaning the encoded payload, such as mwahahaha message, never ran. If the result appears, you can decode the base64 command to inspect the attacker's true intent. We can see here we found no results, so that's good. Now we have two questions, being what is the reconnaissance executable file name, and what executable did the attacker attempt to run through the command line injection. Now we know from previously that they ran the whoami.exe. So let's go back. Right, we can see they ran the whoami.exe. So that's going to be our first answer, the first question, whoami.exe. Let's check that. Now, if you remember from before, when we had that command, when we ran that query being the index Windows Apache search and this whole giant query, well, when we search that up into the search bar at the top, we can see that for this last question, being what executable did the attacker attempt to run through the command injection, this is going to be PowerShell.exe. It attempted to run this. So that's going to be our last answer, PowerShell.exe. Let's see if that's correct. All right, fantastic. That was correct. Now, this room wasn't that hard. It was just all about web attack forensics, and we explored that using Splunk. It was only a medium difficulty room, but I hope you guys enjoyed day number 15. If you have, please come back tomorrow for day number 16. All right, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.